What is going on, people of YouTube? It's me, Noob Dad here, and I am very excited to bring you today an overview of Paladins, which is the new game that Hi-Rez are working on. It's currently in closed beta, and it's like gold dust to get beta keys unless you can find somebody to either give you one or you can win in a competition, because like I said, it's in closed beta at the moment. Now, before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to Dream Squad Gaming. Without their raffle that they won, I would not be on the beta right now. Granted, I did buy the Founders Pack just now, but that is for another video I am doing later on, details of which will follow. Anyway, so what is Paladins? Paladins is a team squad shooter that is heavily objective based. Now, that is on its very basic level. Each character has its own strengths and weaknesses, and really blends well and also contrasts to other people that you may have in your squad as well. So it is a really good game. It's when I've played the first few matches, because I've played a few matches now just to get used to the mechanics and everything, it feels very Hi-Rez. Hi-Rez games to me are a very distinctive feel, and this doesn't break away from that distinctive feel, but at the same time it's completely new. It's a completely new idea, and it's very well executed to say that it's in closed beta right now. And I want to say thank you to Hi-Rez as well for allowing people like myself to be able to bring this to the viewership so they can see what is what you're currently working on. So what actually happens in Paladins? So it's a big wide open space. I say wide open, what I mean by that is it's a very big space. It's got a lot of not just linear gameplay, but it's three-dimensional. It's you can attack from on high, go low. People have different abilities that will get them into different places, and believe me when I say no two games are the same. You can have the same loadouts and everything like that, but it still will not play out the same, and that's what I love about this game. It's just so unpredictable. I mean, with Smite's brilliant, but once you get into kind of rhythm, it can sometimes be predictable at some points, and not others, but this one is completely unpredictable each time. Certain elements feel, it's like, I don't know, it's like Hi-Rez took the best things from several MOBAs, including their own, mixed it with a dash of tribes, and then they came out with this. I mean, look at the graphics. They're nice and cartoony, reminiscent of kind of Team Fortress, but with a bit more polish on it. I like the ideas. I mean, the thing is, if you have a look at MOBAs that are out now, Heroes of the Storm, those are big maps, but you can use mounts to get to the action quite quickly. Same as here, you can use the mounts to get into action. Now, with the mounts, with them being in third person rather than like an isometric type fixed view, it gives you a real sense of urgency, a real sense of speed, and also as well, it can allow you to do so many different attacks. The amount of times I would kind of ride over battlements, jump, and then dismount in midair and launch an attack from midair is unbelievable, and it gives you that feeling of power, like you're really mixed up in the fight. So I really like that. At the moment, if you buy the Founders Pack, you can get the Infernal Warhorse as well. So what makes this different? Like I said, it's a team-based shooter, but you also have a big element of strategy, not only in the characters that you pick and synergizing with your team, but also the fact that just like Smite, you have abilities. Each one of the people you get has abilities and has their own, and the abilities come in the form of not just their normal vanilla abilities, as it were, but also they're augmented with cards. So where in Smite you would buy items, in Paladins you collect cards. So you can get cards in many different ways. You start off with quite a few, and they give you a lot to be going on with, but then you, depending on how well you can do in matches, you then can get chests which will reward you with anywhere up to 5 cards depending on what type of chest you get. These cards you can reconstruct into decks, but if you do find that you get a lot of duplicates, what you then can do is you can actually recraft the cards into something into something else, so the next tier up or the same tier, to give you more cards, more individual and more unique cards, which I think is a fantastic idea, well executed with that one. The cards themselves have different abilities and different buffs and debuffs you can do. So for example, they come in active and passive, just like they do, just like the items do on Smite. And also as well, they do things like they can augment your damage, boost your health as well, and they all have, and just as any collectible card game, they have different rarities, so each of the cards has a coloured gem at the top, so you can tell how rare it is. So for example, green is fairly common, blue is rare, purple is their epic category, which is the next one, to gold, which is legendary, gold being like gold dust. And the way that the cards are actually set apart really does lend to their classification. So the legendary cards are really as such that they are super powerful. They work really well, and they can turn the whole tide of a battle just by having one in your deck. So how do these cards work? So you get the card, and every so often when you level up or do well in the match, you can select a card to put in your hand. You can have up to 5 cards at any one time, and they're active. You don't have to actually activate them per se. So they will work in synergy with your current vanilla, as I hate that word, but normal vanilla abilities. So for example, when I played as Cassie, the legendary card I had augmented her damage to her auto attack, but also as well what it did is her triple arrow ability, blast arrow ability, turned into 3 arrows that would blast and root at the same time. Really turned the time in a lot of battles that I had, and things like that. So they tend to really augment your abilities you already have, which is really good. And the thing is as well that if somebody takes out the game, if they kill you or knock out, as they say, I haven't quite figured out what the difference is. I will figure it out and put it in another video. Your cards actually go into cooldown. So just like when you've spent an ability on Smite, or you've or an action is activating an ability, it goes into cooldown. So in that particular time, you're having to readjust the way that you play your game at that particular point, and really having to think the strategies out. Translating from Smites to Paladins has really, to be fair, become natural to me, and it feels a lot natural because in Smite every shot's a skill shot, even with the auto attacks, and it feels that way in Smite. It's solid and robust. The mounts feel like they're an integral part of the game, and I've not really found anything bad to say about it at all, to be honest. So anyway, with that said, let's move on to what actually happens within the game. So you'll notice at the top of the screen that there's really one mode at the moment which is under casual, which is kind of a siege mode. So what happens is you have 3 gates, to your base, and the enemy has 3 gates to their base. Behind the third and last gate, you have a vault. Okay, once the enemy team destroys your vault, it's all over. If you destroy the other team's vault, it's over. That's the main objective of the game as I've seen it at the moment. So you can go after the gates, but your normal weapons will do very minimal damage. So the game starts where you have a capture point and it starts spawning the countdown, and then it marks it on the map for everybody to get to. For the whole point of winning these capture points is it spawns something called the siege engine. But to do that, you have to score 100 capture points now. It's not like Conquest of old, like when you play things like Battlefield or COD, where if you're in a capture point and the enemy team kills you, they have to wait in that capture point to basically neutralise the capture point and then capture it in their favour. What happens instead at this particular case is it's the first team up to 100 capture points. Now, for every second you stay in that particular area, you're looking at 2 points towards your spawning your siege engine. Now, bear in mind that if you have all 5 characters in there, then you're getting 10 points per second, so it'll take 10 seconds to spawn that siege engine. So once this siege engine is actually spawned, you basically follow it to the next objective, which is your enemy's gates or your enemy's vault, and you kind of hold off the enemy team until your siege engine can do its business. Now, once the siege engine is destroyed, you rinse and repeat. Both teams are looking, taking each other out, trying to get stragglers, etc. Wait for the next spawn point. They go, capture the spawn point, siege engine, blah 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 blah. Anyway, so that continues until you have a winner, and that's basic. That's at its most basic, really. When people die, they drop health, which you can pick up. You level up in game just like Smite as well. And another thing that happened as well, and I found this out by accident, I really should have read the instructions to be honest, but if you're familiar with Smite's VGS system, so VGS system is for people who don't generally have headsets or who are a bit too shy to get on a headset but really want to communicate with their team. They can use VGS just on a site like the voice in game system, so it starts off with V and then you go through different categories. It works exactly the same as Smite, same kind of voice designations and commands as well, which I find is really good that they've implemented that. It will help with the communication and it'll help get objectives done as well. And I love the fact that you all work towards an objective, just like Conquest on Smite, but the Conquest on Smite I find a little too slow paced, and I also find it quite serious in the way that I don't tend to have a good time because I'm not very good at it, and then people are flaming. Not to say that the community is full of flames, because they're not. Generally, I've come across the Hi-Rez community as a really friendly bunch of people. It's just a few bad apples that spoil the bunch. But yeah, like I said before, Paladin is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love it, and it's really good, really good fun. I like the fact that you can craft different things from different cards that you pick up. I like that there's an objective, and you can make a lot of friends online with it. And I'm really excited to see what is in store for this game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a bit more of the game, and I'm going to do a quick overview with each character once I feel that I've played them enough to actually have a comment. I'm going to do this a little bit differently to Smite, because in Smite I kind of was late to the party, so I didn't get to play it in beta, but this one I'm playing in beta, so I'll have a lot to say on it as it goes along. They're continually patching it, listening to the community and things like that. People are very vocal, and it's the fact that Hi-Rez is so transparent with what they wanted to do with Paladins is a testament to how they are as a company. I absolutely love Hi-Rez. Anybody who knows me knows I've sunk a ton of money into Smite and things like that, but it's because I believe they're a really good company. If I like a product and the developer supports it really well, I will recommend it to everybody. So anyway, with that in mind, I will be doing some Let's Plays on this. I will be reviewing each character. If they reveal more modes, I will feature those modes as well. So I'll be bringing you the good, bad and the ugly, and also as well, there will be some opportunities as I level up in the game where I'll be giving away some closed beta keys. So keep an eye on this channel, share it about. The more people we get subscribed, the more people we get watching, the more giveaways that I'll do. I've got a ton of stuff that I'd love to give away, but I'm not going to give it away to the same person because there's really no point. So the more people watch, the more I'm inclined to give away stuff. But anyway, as ever, I've been Noob Dan, and I shall see you in the next video. And when it comes to Paladins, I shall catch you in the realm. Take care.